There is really nothing in sports that is more frustrating when it seems like you know more than your team actually does. And that's the case with the New York Yankees right now. I'm Bryce Gelman, going to be talking about Jose Trevino and DJ LeMahieu, two of the worst baseball players that I've ever seen in my entire life, who continue to get trotted out there by the Yankees day after day, night after night, for no other reason other than the fact that Aaron Boone feels bad. Aaron Boone trusts them, and then these guys are proven veterans. DJ LeMahieu has a sub 530 OPS. Why is he playing at all? I was going to take my time to get into this. I was going to ease right into it. It's just so frustrating. And I've kind of refrained from doing a video or doing something along these lines about these two specific players who we have seen repeatedly fall flat on their faces at the plate and in the field. Jose Trevino, whatever you want to say about his platinum glove and then how good he is behind the plate at stopping past balls, he is. I need to pace myself here. I'm going to pace myself here. He is atrocious when it comes to throwing guys out at second base, at third base, making them throw to first. What we saw on Tuesday night was some of the most pathetic play that I have seen anyone perform behind the dish with Jose Trevino. I'm gonna take a step back, and we're gonna circle back to Jose Trevino, because I gotta start with just the fact that the Yankees now, they're still in first place in the division, in front of the Orioles, and it's like, whenever you think this team is there, whenever you think that they are back, whenever you think that their offense is going to be good enough to carry them into the postseason and win some games, potentially win a World Series, a series against the Nationals that just happens, where the Yankees score more than 2 runs just once, and that was the first game on Monday. The last 2 games, they only put up 2 runs. 2 putrid performances, objectively, on the mound from Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon. 2 guys you should trust against a team that is below 500. And you face a pitcher in Patrick Corbin on Tuesday night with like a 7 ERA. It took him 6 months to get his 100th win. I think he started the season with 97, and it took him like 4 months to get his 100th win. And you lose to him with your ace on the mound. So who can you trust at this point? Who can you trust? Let's say the Yankees, God forbid, get into a predicament where they don't win the division. They've got to play whoever in the wild card. Hopefully that would be at home. Who do you trust in a 3-game series? Do you trust Garrett Cole? I honestly, if that's the case, the Yankees are home in a hypothetical wild card situation. You know who I trust the most? Is Nestor Cortez, who's a solid pitcher at home. Yes, he'll have the occasional blow up, but you could trust him to only allow 2 or 3 runs at his worst. I might trust Nestor Cortez to start game 1 in a wild card at home. That's where I'm at right now. I'd love to hear what you guys are at. You could comment below. Whatever reason didn't work last time, but I'll check my phone. I'll see if anyone responded to the live stream, or if you're watching on YouTube, I think that does pop up. But I don't know. Just if you want to get involved with this conversation, because I know there are a lot of people out there. There has to be hundreds, if not thousands, of people who are just as irate as me with Aaron Boone and the Yankees organization for continuing to make mistakes that just aren't that deep. These decisions are not deep. You start the better player. If Austin Wells is hitting better than Jose Trevino, you start Austin Wells. It's that simple. If you're lacking in offense from guys who aren't named Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, you play the guys behind him who have the best chance of getting on base. And Austin Wells, with his over 900 OPS over the past few months, is obviously the better option as compared to Jose Trevino. Say what you want about the defense. Say what you want about the framing. I don't want to hear it. It doesn't matter. The defense that Trevino provides as compared to Austin Wells pales in comparison to the offensive side, to the hitting. It's night and day. It's not even close. And why the Yankees and Aaron Boone continue to overcomplicate these decisions is beyond me. I didn't want to sit here and lose my absolute you-know-what. But it's like, when we talk about the Yankees time and time again, it's almost like I'm kind of subscribing to the same definition here. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. With the Yankees, it's this mindset that they're smarter than every other team in Major League Baseball, that they know what they're talking about and you don't. Do we really know that to be the case? Or is it just that that's been the Yankees' organizational philosophy since 2017, since they were one game away from a World Series, in which they have continuously fallen flat on their face season after season after season? If there ever was a year in which the Yankees could finally prevail, get back to the promised land, at least make a World Series, at least contend, and not get their asses beat by the Astros, it's this year. The league is, the Major League Baseball is wide open. Wide open. Just when you thought the Yankees were back. Just when you thought the Yankees were going to just steamroll their way into the postseason, you get a series like this. Against the awful Washington Nationals, where you lose a series. I got a stat for you. And let me know what you think about it. The Yankees' record for sub-500 teams, you may have already seen this, 24-20. That's 22nd in Major League Baseball. You want to know what it is against teams that are above 500? 54-36, which is first in Major League Baseball. So if there is a silver lining in any of this, it's that. It's the Yankees perform better against better teams. They play down to their competition, which it's not even an excuse. Like it's a pathetic excuse. And you know, to sit here and say that you're confident in the Yankees, you'd be lying to me. Oh, just because they're really good against teams above 500 means that that's going to translate to the postseason? Like that's an absolute lock? Come on, you guys know better. You know better that this organization has given us nothing to be confident about going forward. Jeff Passan says that Juan Soto is going to make above $500 million. I forgot exactly the year amount, probably 12, 13 years, maybe more. And that it is probably going to come down to the Yankees and the Mets. What gives you the indication that it's a lock that the Yankees bring back Juan Soto? What makes you think that they are going to at least come close to the bid that Steve Cohen is going to put on Juan Soto? I know this is another story. I know this is kind of off topic, but it kind of ties in altogether. How can you trust this organization? How can you confidently sit here and say this Yankees team is going to fulfill the status quo, is going to do what every fan has expectations for going into each season? And that is to compete for a World Series. Could they do it? Absolutely. Am I confident in it? Absolutely not. Because of what I've seen in the past. I talked about it earlier this week with Aaron Judge and how putrid he's been in every postseason not named 2018. And how that may change with Juan Soto in front of him, or according to Stephen A. Smith, the fakest Yankee fan, the fakest Knicks fan, the fakest any fan of sports, says he's batting third. Juan Soto behind Aaron Judge. What a concept. Maybe if you actually watched any Yankees game, you'd understand how the lineup works and where Aaron Judge has been all year behind Juan Soto, not in front of him. And that's the guy they paid $25, $30 million. That's the guy they're about to pay $30 million a year to be on ESPN. I digress. I'm all over the place. I understand. And I hope you can understand where I'm coming from here, because this is just such a frustrating topic. It's just like, how can you continue to do it? With LeMahieu, he's batting 200. And I know batting average, not a big deal, whatever. No one looks at batting average. You know what people do look at? On base plus slugging. OPS, what most people call it. And you want to know what that is? Sub 530. And yet he has hundreds of at-bats this season. I'm not saying hundreds, but over 100. I don't know the exact stat. But you know for a fact, you watch the Yankees, easily over 100, maybe 150, 200, maybe even more. I have no idea what I'm talking about. What I do know is that the Yankees, for whatever reason, continue to trot him out there just for him to go 0 for 4, just for him to go 0 for 5, just for him to play subpar defense at first base. He's got me clamoring for Anthony Rizzo back. That just shows you where I'm at with that. So, I've seen articles about it. I've seen tweets about it of people just trying to fathom with the Yankees' decision to continuously trot out these guys in Trevino and DJ LeMahieu. And to this day, to this point, I have not seen a good explanation for it. Because on one hand, you see that Aaron Boone says, we're going to play LeMahieu either way. We're going to play him because he's better against lefties. Or we're going to play him because that pitcher is better against righties than lefties. And then you don't play Austin Wells, who's better against both righties and lefties, as compared to Jose Trevino. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I've been saying that for a long, long time when it comes to this organization. They think they're geniuses. They think they're Albert Einstein. They think everything they say, every opinion that they have about the lineup is gold. And God forbid, God dare, how dare you oppose what they have to say? How dare you oppose their lineup decisions? Even the Yankee optimists that I know have no explanation for this. The ones that continuously defend the organization, that continuously defend the analytics department, that continuously defend Aaron Boone. They have nothing. And for good reason. Of course they have nothing. Because the Yankees' logic doesn't make sense. How it varies from one player to the other, make it make sense. That's all we're asking. Make the easy decision. Just put Austin Wells in the lineup and don't think about it. Don't dwell over it. Don't stay up late at night considering who's going to be in the lineup the next day. I'm Bryce Gelman talking about Yankees, talking about the disgusting, miserable decision each night for the Yankees to play DJ LeMahieu and by extent Jose Trevino. Austin Wells was just absolutely raking. He still is. He's still hitting. He is still hitting the ball hard. He's been the Yankees' best, objectively, the Yankees' best hitter outside of Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. But why play him? What is the argument against playing the guy every single day? I understand he's a catcher. I understand you're kind of high-tied at the DH position, considering the fact that Giancarlo Stanton, the old man, Old G. I like that. That should be his new nickname, Old G. Old G can't play the field to save his life. You've seen his speed, his acceleration, his agility. He'd be a complete liability at any part of the field. Besides with his bat. That's the only place where he's actually, above average. So you kind of screwed there. And that has been the case for the last 7 years. Anytime you want to play Giancarlo in the field, he becomes a much better hitter until he gets injured. And then you got to wait 2 or 3 months for him to rehab whatever that injury is, just for him to come back and be terrible for a month and stink it up before he magically turns it back on. That's the Giancarlo Stanton experience. And at the time that they acquired him, they said that that was a very smart move. They made you believe that. Giancarlo has been a solid Yankee. But who it caused them to miss out on? It all ties back into this idea of the Yankees thinking they're smarter than every other team, that think they know what they're talking about. And that being their Achilles heel. That being the biggest reason we're in this position that we're in. And that being the biggest reason why Yankees fans are so upset, so frustrated with this organization. And if you're not frustrated, if you're not asking questions about these putrid decisions on a night-by-night, day-by-day basis, you should take a hard, long look in the mirror and objectively look at the situation. If you were running the team, let's say this is MLB The Show, and all the stats in real life carried over to the video game, and you had the decision each night of starting Trevino, who can't throw out me, stealing second base, or playing Austin Wells, who is a 10 times better hitter than Trevino this year, and just in general, and your third best hitter outside of, the best hitter outside of Judge and Soto. You play Wells. You don't think about it. Wells is not going to play every night. He's a catcher. Catchers don't play the entire season. They play 130, 140 games. Guess what? Jose Trevino gets to play the 30 games. That's more than enough with how big of a liability he is with his arm. Every other game, it feels like he's overthrowing second base. He's overthrowing first base. He's missing a guy because of his noodle arm. Enough is enough. Play Austin Wells. Don't think about it. Insert him into the lineup, and that's it. And then DJ LeMahieu, who is having one of the worst hitting seasons probably in Yankee history. People thought Joey Gallo was bad. DJ LeMahieu couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. Ladies and gentlemen, if you missed it, 200 batting average. Which, again, as I said, people don't care about. Okay, fine. What's the OPS? What is it? What is it, you may ask? And again, I stated this earlier. Sub 530. League average is around what? 680, 700, I believe. If not, don't quote me. You've got a guy who is almost 200 points, 200 OPS points below league average. And yet he continues to play. Thank God I'm remote. Thank God I work remotely. Because I could scream and holler all afternoon about this pathetic decision-making from Aaron Boone. And all the people out there, fire Aaron Boone. He just signed an extension. We both root for the same team, right? We both understand the philosophy of the organization. They want a yes man. They want a guy who's liked by the players. He seems like he's respected by the players. He definitely goes to war for them when there's a bad call or not, and he loses his absolute mind, gets thrown out of games. Cool, awesome, nice. Defends most of them in press conferences. How about its decision making? Again, we don't know the Yankees. They keep it very close to the hip. These pieces of information, we know they somewhat overhauled their analytics department. Does it really seem like they've made enough changes organizationally where this shouldn't be a problem? No, absolutely not. So here we are on August 29th. After a series loss to the Nationals, after you thought the Yankees were back, now what? You got the Cardinals, the Rangers, and you got the Cubs. 3 next series. Good luck. The good news for you, if you're the Yankees, and let me just confirm here. Oh boy, Cardinals they're 1 game under 500. The Yankees could be in trouble there, but if they win the first game, they'll be at 500, and the Yankees will get a chance to win the next game, and they'll lose the third one. And then you got the Rangers, who the Cubs are on a tear right now. The Cubs are a problem. The Rangers are below 500, so it's just like, if you think that the Yankees have a great opportunity to capitalize on these next few teams that they'll play, 2 of the next 3 teams, I don't even know about the Cubs. Whatever. This is a problem, and of course, everyone's joining now. So thank you so much for joining. I'm gonna reset this a little because I'm gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna circle around one more time. I'm going to outline exactly why I'm so annoyed, why you should be annoyed, and why the Yankees are a dumpster fire for an organization, no matter what they do, no matter what Aaron Judge does, and no matter what they do in terms of Juan Soto this offseason. That would be great if they re-signed him, but if they didn't, we're back to square one. Why are the Yankees, and if you missed it, whatever, I'm giving it to you right now. Why do the Yankees continue to play DJ LeMahieu and Jose Trevino? Everyone keeps saying it. There are a lot of talking heads on Yankees Twitter. There are a lot of people who talk Yankees who have a problem with this. People on the fan. Well, it doesn't matter. If you're a Yankees fan, if you're watching this team, you are just as annoyed. You should be just as annoyed as I am over this situation. DJ LeMahieu is one of the worst hitters that we have ever seen this year. Not talking about 2019, not talking about 2020. 2024, DJ LeMahieu is absolutely pathetic at the plate. He's putrid. And yet he continues to play. It's not like he's providing you this gold glove defense at first base. Not like you even needed at first base anyway. It's subpar defense. And disgustingly bad hitting. With a 200 batting average and a below 530 OPS. And then you look at Jose Trevino. The platinum glove. The framer. Playing over the Yankees' third best hitter this year. Consistently. He's the best hitter behind Juan Soto and Aaron Judge, Austin Wells. And yet Aaron Boone continues to overcomplicate these decisions. The analytics department, whoever it is, shouldn't be an excuse. Doesn't matter. It's not good enough. And us fans, in a year that Major League Baseball is wide open, this postseason wide open, if there was ever a year the Yankees could do it, if there was ever a year the Yankees could return back to the promised land, at least make the World Series, it's 2024. And yet they continue to play DJ LeMahieu and Jose Trevino. DJ LeGroundout and Noodle Arm Trevino. Oh, and yeah, your two top of the rotation guys are not consistent enough to where you're confident in them going into the postseason. You have no idea what to expect from Garrett Cole or Carlos Rodon on a night-by-night basis. Who do you trust to start game one of a potential wild card series? Or let's say you win the division. Congratulations. You don't have to play in the wild card. Who do you start game one of the divisional series? I'd love to know. Who do you trust? I don't trust anyone. I don't trust this organization. I don't trust Aaron Boone. And I'm not trying to sound like some big talking head where, like, if the Yankees are winning, I'm positive. They're losing, I'm not. I had just as much of a problem with the Yankees playing Trevino and playing LeMahieu over the better options when they were winning as when they're losing. I mean, obviously, you look at what happened in the game on Tuesday night where LeMahieu, it's 4-2, and you could have put in Oswaldo Cabrera against the lefty pitcher. Instead, you keep LeMahieu in. Or with a righty pitcher, whatever it is. It was just a stupid decision. Apparently, Finnegan, I think who was on the mound on Tuesday night, is better against lefties than he is against righties. But, you're also trotting out DJ LeMahieu. It's not like this is any, righty. This isn't like a league average righty. This is a guy who's got a sub 530 OPS. The worst hitter in Major League Baseball. Besides Javier Baez. But the Yankees lost that game 4-2. And then the Trevino part of it on Tuesday night. I mean, the 2 errors that he made in the 6th inning. Like, I was thinking about, like, posting this crazy unhinged Twitter video rant. I decided against it. I proceeded to tweet like 2 or 3 times in a few minute span. But it's like, I don't know what else to do. The Yankees are listen, they have a winning record. They perform well against teams above 500, which is the silver lining in all this. But I do not trust them, and you shouldn't either going into the postseason, considering where this team is at, considering the terrible decisions that they continue to make. What makes you think that they're going to change it up in the postseason? What makes you think that when push comes to shove, when all the cards are on the table and Aaron Boone is faced with the decision of playing Jose Trevino or playing Austin Wells, let's say lefty pitchers on the mound, and he goes Trevino because of the split. It's a lefty pitcher. Well, you know who hits better against lefties? Austin Wells does. It's just such a flawed mindset. It's so indignant. But it's the same. It's been the same. It's more the same. Like, it's since 2017. One game away from the World Series against a cheating team. I get it. That's the Yankees and Brian Cashman love to let you know that. It's not good. I just want this team to be successful, as do all of you. I want the status quo to go back to what it was and what it still is in Yankee fans' minds. But organizationally, it seems like they're content with selling chicken buckets and making the postseason. It's not how it should be. The Yankees should have done more at the trade deadline. They should have bolstered their bullpen. They should have traded for Jack Flaherty, who they had medical concerns about, and look who's lighting it up for the Dodgers. Jack Flaherty is. And all it took was one top 10 prospect and a 30 prospect. The Yankees could have done that. They didn't do it. They decided against it. And now you have no one you could trust in game one of the postseason. I'm not trying to sound like a pessimist. I'm not trying to sit here and tell you all the things that are wrong with the Yankees while also ignoring the things that are good. I mentioned it. The Yankees are good against teams that are above 500. You know who you're going to face in the postseason? Teams that are above 500. That's a silver lining. Maybe that translates. Maybe that that carries over to the postseason. Or maybe we see the exact same Aaron Judge that we've seen the last 5 postseasons, dating back to 2018. A lot of strikeouts, not a lot of hits. That'll do it. But I can't keep going on and on here. I feel like I'm going in circles. And if you've joined, thank you so much for listening. I do a couple of these a week. Going to be doing more. Finally got a background. It's not some blank ass background. You don't have to stare at that anymore. Very cool. I'll be putting that up in the next couple of weeks. But happy Labor Day to all of you guys out there. One Giant Step preview episode. 2 episodes actually coming next week. Very fun, exciting time if you're an NFL fan. 1 week away. We are 1 week away from opening kickoff of the NFL season. The offseason just flies by every year. I'm so excited. I'm pumped. I'm in multiple fantasy leagues. I love all my teams so far. Knock on wood. I got another draft tonight. I'm maybe gonna talk some fantasy football in the coming weeks. I've been listening. Knock on wood. I won fantasy basketball. I might win fantasy baseball. I was in the finals. Whatever. I'm good at fantasy sports. If you need advice, reach out to me at Bryce Gelman on Twitter. Do it for you these again each week. So thank you all for tuning in, and I will speak to you all next week. Happy Labor Day, everyone.